Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a Marvel character spotlight on the one and only M.O.D.O.K. So, for those of you who don't know, M.O.D.O.K is a very intellectual being that is in the MCU that is known more as a villain. And the reason why we are talking about him today is because he is going to be having his MCU debut in apparently Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So what better way to get ourselves ready for M.O.D.O.K is learning about him. So apparently M.O.D.O.K started out as a man called George Tarleton. I might be saying it wrong. Um, but anyway, he was just a man. And it was unclear exactly what happened to him fully. So, there were multiple thoughts in the idea of exactly what happened. Um, Some thought he was just a lonely person. So there was one where they thought he was a skilled technician, where he was from Pennsylvania, and then worked for AIM, and then became M.O.D.O.K. There was another one where apparently his father said that George lacked intelligence and was hired as a janitor for AIM, and then was experimented on that turned him into M.O.D.O.K. And then there was a third story that showed him as a smart man hired by the U.S. Army for weapons research, who took samples collected from monsters for study, and that's how he became it. But anyway, overall, the one thing that stays the same is he joined a radical group called AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, and worked with them to create the Cosmic Cube, which was supposed to be a device with infinite capabilities. But what happened was they needed a way to study the cube, so they created a project called M-O.D.O.K, M-O.D.O.C, um, which stands for Mental Organism Designed Only for Computing. And it was used to probe the cosmic cube to understand its full capabilities. Um, to that end, unfortunately, they altered George into the super intelligent being M.O.D.O.K. So they actually turned him into M.O.D.O.K, which was M-O.D.O.C. His massive cranium was too much for his frail body to support, so they had to place him in some sort of hover chair, and they called it the Doomsday Chair. These scientists unwisely did not take into consideration that the fact that his mind became superior, that he would then have superior ideals as well. And because of this, he turned on his former masters and overthrew AIM, and he adopted the new name M.O.D.O.K, M-O.D.O.K, mental organism designed only for killing. And at this point in time, he was at his most ruthless killing at his at that point because he was just so irritated by the world. Now he is a minor character overall in the sense of in the grand scheme of things in the Marvel universe, but he's gone toe to toe with the likes of Captain America, Sharon Carter, Sharon Carter, sorry. He's even dealt with the Red Skull. um, he's had to go toe to toe with Namor, and Doctor Doom. He's even gone. He's even tried to take out the Hulk. And how he did so was he tried to create this gigantic robotic body to help him in battle and planned to use gamma radiation to create a creature more powerful than the Hulk and beat him. Unfortunately, it did not work out well for him. Now, during all this time, AIM was not happy with M.O.D.O.K, mostly due to the fact that he was so worried about his enemies, specifically the superheroes, that he wasn't even taking into consideration the actual company, which is AIM. And because of this, AIM's leaders decided to try to get rid of M.O.D.O.K permanently. And it was thought that M.O.D.O.K was killed by the Serpent Society, which was apparently their group's first mission. Now, as time went on, AIM apparently realized that they need M.O.D.O.K. And so what they did was they used the Cosmic Cube, sacrificed Madame, which was M-O.D.A.M, to retrieve M.O.D.O.K. And they wanted him to repair everything that had happened. So um, they actually brought M.O.D.O.K back to life, and he starts going on rampages once again, even trying to get back AIM once again. So he'd lost AIM once again after Monica Rampagini took over, and what he did was he assembled a large team of current and former super villains, um, some of which were Puma, Mentalino, Armadillo, Chameleon, Nightshade, Living Laser, Rocket Racer, and Spot. Um, all thinking that they're going to get a big, you know, pile of money, and unfortunately, none of that was true. So they try to do so, and unfortunately, does not seem to work out completely. Although he does get some of the remnants of AIM back. At one point, he's even had a monkeys experiment, which I find hilarious. Apparently, in Puerto Rico, he was trying to work on his experiment called a monkeys, which apparently I guess has to do with monkeys, which is gross. Um, so apparently, M.O.D.O.K was among the 9 criminal geniuses that Beast sought out to help him reverse the effects of M-Day. As with many others, M.O.D.O.K rebuffed the Beast. Along with that, we also have him going up against in World War Hulks. So apparently, during this time, he created this huge device to go after the Hulks. And what happened was he had his power taken from him. So Amadeus changed M.O.D.O.K back into George Tarleton again, and he was taken into custody by the U.S. military and remained confined in a gamma base in Death Valley. He began to undergo therapy to overcome the trauma caused by his actions as M.O.D.O.K, which he can barely recall whatsoever. So one of the big things here is M.O.D.O.K no longer exists in the Marvel comics right now, or at least not right this second, which is a big factor in this. Um, he's not dead, which does not mean it means he has the potential of becoming M.O.D.O.K again, or somebody else taking on the mantle. So one of the big things about him is, at his best, M.O.D.O.K on the power grid here. And Marvel's power grid is always been, um, 7 out of 7. So you have to do that right there. So one of the big things is his intelligence was a 6. Now his strength, speed, and durability vary based on many different things. So one of the big things here is his strength goes from a 1 to a 5 based on his robotic bodies. So without the robotic bodies, his strength is a 1. Um, his speed is a 1 and his durability is a 1 without any mechanical suits whatsoever. But with his mechanical robotic bodies, his strength can be going up to a 5, his speed up to a 7, and his durability up to a 5. Now, his energy projection has been a 6, and his fighting skills have always been a 1. So his powers before his powers were taken away, he was a genetically mutated being, obviously, but he had psionic powers. So telekinetic force blast, force fields, telepath, and mind control, which made him one of the most powerful opponents to date. That being said, he also has not seen much limelight. He's been in a couple of games as minor villains, but overall, this is going to be the first time we get to see him live action in the MCU. They did do a show called M.O.D.O.K. It was more of a comedy. Um, it was actually a pretty good show, but it definitely did not show his capabilities that he can be. Meaning, he is much more menacing and scary than a lot of the villains we've seen so far, and he just likes killing people, which is one of the big things of why he should be so scary to most people. But yes, that's going to be M.O.D.O.K, and I'm very much looking forward to the fact of how they're going to do it. One of the big things here is we are going to see a different M.O.D.O.K, it seems, because apparently this is going to be Yellow Jacket, who is turned into M.O.D.O.K, based on him shrinking, um, not proportionally, um, into the quantum realm. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see that dynamic and seeing how different he is from the character, sorry, in the comics. But overall, definitely looking forward to it whatsoever. Altogether, I should say. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this a character that you're excited to see in the MCU? Are you not? Are you indifferent? Let me know in the comments and why. Overall, also, if there's a character that you'd like me to do a spotlight on, please make sure to write it in the comments as well. And as always, I should say, as I forget, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.